May the 26th, fish. A number of different fish are now starting to spawn. Common bream, grayling, bleak, barbel, rudd and lamprey all tend to lay their eggs in mid-May. Common carp, roach and minnow lay theirs towards the end of the month. It may also be worth looking in weedy shallows for carp. As they are feeding on the bottom mud, carp tend to produce bubbles which can give a clue to their presence. They also sometimes can be seen thrashing in the water while spawning, quite oblivious to any human presence. It is best to look for them on sunny days when the water may have reached the desirable 18 degrees centigrade that they prefer. Grayling, which are said to smell distinctly of thyme, prefer quieter shallows with deeper eddies. Roach, rudd and minnow are often noticed due to dimpling on the water surface. They spawn in shoals with their numerous fins just touching the surface. Bleak may well leave the water to escape from a predator such as a perch or pike. This can betray the presence, and then a little later they may be seen swimming just below the surface. Their shiny white scales used to be made into false pearls. Now in breeding colours, they are pale green with some blue tints and have silver sides. Other fish are also changing colour. For example, minnows are becoming pinker and three-spined sticklebacks redder. Barbels, like most fish, are explosive breeders, producing several thousand eggs. In Elizabethan London, there was a fine for catching young barbels, as they were thought to taste far better if left to grow older. Other fish, such as common bream, were then highly prized eating, but are ignored today. In rivers such as the Darrant and Wandle, fish can occasionally be glimpsed as they come to the surface to feed on emerging insects, especially if they're swarming. Fungi. Most of the fungi mentioned in April can also be seen this month. This is not the time of year to see large toadstools, but it is a good time to examine old wet logs for encrusting or what we call resupinate fungi. Various cup and jelly fungi, which go unnoticed in the autumn, tend to stand out more now. For example, Pisiza species and Auricularia species. Other fungi commonly found on dead wood are the coral spot fungus, Netria cinnabarina, and King Alfred's cakes, Daldinia concentrica. Bracket fungi also tend to get notice. Some are decayed, but others are large and solid, for example, Ganoderma species. Some of this year's new brackets are also starting to appear. Species such as dryad saddle, Polyporus squarosus, maizegill, Didalea cachina, and the eye-catching sulphur-coloured chicken of the woods, the Lytiporus sulphurea. In the case of dryad saddle, this bracket may eventually reach 1/2 metre in width by the autumn. In among grass, smaller mushrooms can sometimes be found, for example, Clitocybe, marasmius, Enteloma saphirella, and Agrocybe. Very common species such as inkcap, sulphur-tuft, and fairy-ring champignon seem capable of turning up at any time. Rather more of a surprise is the deer fungus, Pluteus savinus. This may be 10 centimetres high, with an equally broad cap, salmon-coloured gills, and a distinct smell of radishes. It can be found on dead wood, even if it is a dry May. Another striking species also found on dead wood is the liver-brown polypore, Polyporus badius. Its cap can be a rich, dark chestnut colour in contrast to its cream-coloured pores beneath. Strange-looking helvellas are sometimes appear in woodland, for example, the common white helvella, Helvella crispra in mixed woodland, and the false morel, Gyromitra esculenta under pine. Just occasionally, after wet weather, large edible agarics can turn up unexpectedly.